health of the people of Gros Islet is a great concern of mine and priority of mine, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, because of this, upon becoming parliamentary representative for Gros Islet, having visited the health center in Moshi, I discovered that this health center was in a deplorable condition. The roof was leaking. The place was hot and uncomfortable. Madam Speaker, not the kind of environment where you want to bring people for the purpose of treatment and wellness. Madam Speaker, that we embarked on a refurbishment program. We rehabilitated the Moshi Wellness Center, and now it is very aesthetically pleasing, far more comfortable, Madam Speaker, and has been extended to provide more space for the users and staff. Madam Speaker, in addition to this, I provided, through the generosity of the Taiwanese government through Ambassador Tom Chu, air-conditioned units to ensure that there was additional comfort as well as the protection of the pharmaceuticals that were stored in the community, in the health center, in the wellness center, Madam Speaker. This ensured that those drugs were kept safe and that they had a longer, and that they were not denatured because of heat or, inappropriate temperatures. Madam Speaker, a major concern of mine is the Gros Islet. And the people of Gros Islet would recall that that was a major campaign theme of mine. That we in Gros Islet cannot plan our moments and times of illness, and that we did not accept that we have a polyclinic in Gros Islet that was opened from 8 to 4:30 in the day. Madam Speaker, we feel that we deserve 24-hour service when it comes to healthcare. As such, Madam Speaker, I have approached the Ministry of Health, who have indicated that with the undertaking of having to build complete the mental wellness center, National Hospital, repairs to Victoria Hospital, and of course, of late with the burning of the St. Jude's Hospital, it did not seem that that was a priority on the cards, Madam Speaker. A resourceful, innovative, creative parliamentary representative do not just come to the House, Madam Speaker, and lament, complain, and point fingers. I find ways, Madam Speaker, of providing the representation that I promise. Madam Speaker, I negotiated with the AMU Medical School in Boseju and indicated to them that in light of the fact that they were preparing to establish a clinic at their medical school, if they were to provide the staffing with their doctors and interns after working hours and put the equipment that they were going to bring to their clinic at our polyclinic, we would accomplish a number of things. One, it would be beneficial to them, but more importantly to me, Madam Speaker, we would achieve the extended hours that we are looking for healthcare. At the same time, we would improve and extend the kind of services that are provided at that polyclinic. Madam Speaker, I'm pleased to say that AMU has agreed. Unfortunately, we broke ground April last year, Madam Speaker, about 1 year ago, to begin construction of the extension of the polyclinic to house the new equipment that they will be bringing in, that they will be providing, which include dialysis machines, Madam Speaker. And we heard the Minister of Health when he indicated that there are only 12 dialysis machines at Victoria Hospital. Of course, there are dialysis machines at Tapio, but the average St. Lucian cannot afford dialysis treatment at Tapio. The 12 machines at Victoria can only provide treatment for 36 patients, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we know of the prevalence of diabetes and hypertension, and with the complication of those diseases, people suffer kidney failure and liver problems. These people have to undergo dialysis treatment, Madam Speaker. There are people in St. Lucia today dying, or if you want to put it differently, Madam Speaker, waiting for someone who is on treatment to die for them to get treatment. Madam Speaker, in 2011, that is, I think, inhumane, that is embarrassing, and that is beneath what I think should be human standards in St. Lucia. I think, Madam Speaker, every effort should be made, no effort should be spared to redress that situation. Madam Speaker, I am going to do what it takes to ensure that during the course of this month, the construction will begin, because I am aware that AMU has $600,000 sitting in the bank ready for the construction. All government departments concerned, I am serving notice, do what is necessary to make use of the generosity of AMU and the efforts of the Gros Islet parliamentary representative to ensure that this project is undertaken and that it be completed before the end of this year. Madam Speaker, that will do a number of things. Ease the burden on Victoria Hospital, ease the expense and trauma that some of our people have to go to travel, and at the same time it will benefit every other constituency, because we'll be pulling out a few of the people from Gros Islet who are now on the list of treatment at Victoria Hospital. Madam Speaker, my efforts go beyond the shores of St. Lucia, Madam Speaker. This camera, Madam Speaker, this is an apparatus that is used for eye treatment, Madam Speaker. Again, people who suffer from diabetes usually develop sight problems, Madam Speaker. This is an instrument that can diagnose the problem, that has been donated to us, and it comes from Canada, Madam Speaker. It is a result of collaboration between the consulate in Toronto, Mr. Taras Kulish of Hope Worldwide of Canada, and the Toronto Western Hospital, Madam Speaker. And I want to place on record my appreciation to Mr. Kenny Peter Chitoli, who has facilitated the shipment of this instrument, this apparatus, here to St. Lucia, free of charge, Madam Speaker. I want to compliment him and thank him on behalf of the residents of Gros Islet. Madam Speaker, very soon a handing over presentation will be done so that this piece of equipment can be placed at the Gros Islet Polyclinic for the use of the Gros Islet people.